There are many national parks all throughout the United States of America. Ones that may come to mind are Yellowstone and the Grand Teton, the Great Smoky Mountains, the Grand Canyon, and many more shown on this map in front of you. However, there is one less popular one that goes by the name of Death Valley. Before we go into detail on how Death Valley got its name, we first have to look into the people that existed before them, which are the Timishashoshan. These people were able to thrive here even though the living conditions weren't exactly the greatest because of how dry and hot it was. They often camped by water sources and they held summer camps in different mountain ranges. I'd assume to learn about the different edible plants there, which foreigners wouldn't exactly have a great understanding of considering they haven't lived there for very long. Speaking of foreigners, did you know that the reason that Death Valley is called Death Valley is because of the group there that got lost, who were foreigners coming for the California Gold Rush, which is where Death Valley is located in, got lost in the area and believe they die in the valley. Surprisingly, there's a vast amount of animals that live in Death Valley. Some of these animals include bats, the bighorn sheep, there's also many types of rodents, including porcupine. Wait a minute. What are those two doing here? Listen, we don't got the budget for a Leo porcupine. There are also porcupines that exist in the Death Valley National Park. However, the things in front of you are not porcupines, and instead they're hedgehogs. There are a few activities you can do in Death Valley, like stargazing. Since Death Valley is secluded from everything, it gets pretty dark there, and it's actually really easy to see the stars. Heck, on some nights you can even see certain galaxies and planets. Death Valley even has a festival dedicated to teaching you all about. If being out in the night scares you, I'd recommend driving on the open roads here. It is highly recommended that you bring a map and necessary supplies since you might encounter dangers on the open road and get lost. Remember, a GPS will most likely not work here considering that it's a secluded area. There's probably not going to be much signal here and first responders may take a while to get to you. Remember, always tell someone where you're going, make a plan, and be aware of any of the many ranger stations that exist out in this nature reserve so you can get necessary help if you need it. If you don't, well, that may happen.